Alright, so what's up? Welcome back to the Grow Family Network. Yesterday you saw us actually taking out a lot of plants. And this is what we've been doing for the last 3 days. Kind of just taking all of the plants out of our bed and just transferring them to the high tunnel. Hopefully we're going to let it. What I was doing before was I would wait like 1 week before frost was coming, and then it would be like too much work for me to get all of my plants in the high tunnel, get plants in the house, get plants in the garage. So this year what I'm doing is I'm actually taking the fall to get a lot of my plants that would die from the frost. I'm taking that time to slowly get all of my plants situated where it's going to be super easy for us to when the frost comes to kind of not have to rush everything at one time. And then the plants will get some time in the ground before the cold or before the ground kind of hardens up. So what I did after we took out these plants, you can see I actually I'm putting some in pots. This is a jalapeno. Some I'm putting in pots, some I just put in the ground in the high tunnel. And what I was talking to Bells was about spending a little bit more money this year for toward the garden, just put more money into the garden than years previous. As you know, our channel is been more so based around couponing, clearance items, everything on the cheap. But there are some things that you just will never find on clearance, like black cow manure. Something I looked at, Deep South Homestead, they had like pallets of black cow manure. And I'm like, man, it's probably time for us to start putting in some amendments and some nutrition into our garden. Um, who else? Morning Gardener. He's one also from since I've been watching him. He's like one person that's always talking about the benefits of the black cow manure in the garden. So I went this morning. I went to Home Depot. They didn't have any. I went to Lowe's and I was like, well, I looked online first because it's in town. So I was like, am I gonna go into Baton Rouge just for some manure? And I looked on it and they said they had like 100 or so pieces. When I went there, the the ones that they had was way up and I didn't have time. You know how it is, like finding people to come in and get the forklift. I probably would have been there for 2 hours waiting on somebody. So they actually had this and I ended up getting 10 bags, which is 400 pounds. So it sounds like a lot when you say it, like 400 pounds of mushroom compost. But these are just 40-pound bags, and these were $5 a piece. If you look at our bed, you remember when we did this bed particularly, you can see that got some, these are still those same old woods. Don't fight. These are still some same old woods that's been down in here. I just kind of unearthed them when I was digging up those plants. But you can see how we do. Most of the time, my plants, I just cut them here, and I generally leave the roots in the ground just for more organic material. So I think we started out our level. You can see our level was here, and that's because we had the manure, we had leaves, stuff like that. That's why it was up so high. So as that stuff starts to break down, you can see how far the level has dropped way below where we had our little black paper kind of tacked up. So what I'm doing today, I got some of this perlite, and I talked to you on a previous video about getting the perlite. It's like about $24 a bag, and it lasts a long time. You can see I got a whole bag, and I just added, kind of amended. So if you see up in this soil, you'll see it in here. Probably now I'm gonna start putting a little bit more. So all I would do, I'm never like the measuring type. Just go with how you feel. Go with your pocket. Go with your wallet. What you can afford to put down. So like I said, a lot of times you can find stuff on deals, but there are some things like this black cow manure, or some of these amendments, perlite, vermiculite, you probably won't ever find on clearance. So sometimes you just gotta pony up and buy some of the stuff that you wouldn't necessarily have the money for. So with us, I would say we probably get like 1 cent every view. So about 5,000 views, give us like $5, and we could afford easily a bag of this compost. So like I said, 400 pounds isn't a lot when you look at the scale that we're on. If you just had a few raised beds, you probably can take 3 bags and put in each one of your beds and have a lot of nutrients. When I first got the high tunnel, I'll never forget, I was talking to the guy over the agricultural department at the USDA. I think it's USDA or FDA, one of them. USDA. And he was asking me, he was like, man, what's your plans for fertilizer? Like, what you gonna do? I was like, man, I just go to Lowe's or Home Depot, give me a couple of bags. That's Bell's notification. And put in the garden. And he was like, man, don't you know that high tunnel is 2,800 square feet? Like, he was like, King, I don't think you really understand how much fertilizer you might need for that square footage. So we're looking at that, I'm like, this is 40 pounds and this did nothing. You can look at that. 40 pounds and nothing. Let's see, let me get another. Let me get another. 80 pounds. 80 pounds. Let's see what 80 pounds look like. So I bought 400 pounds. Almost like a drop in the bucket. So you can actually see I can't afford to fill this stuff up with this amount, but you can actually just over time, what I'm thinking is now over time every year I'm thinking about 1,000 pounds. Look at that worm. So,
oh, I just found a worm, Dad.
You found a worm too?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking over time
I like picking up worms.
I just try to put that back up in there. Take these sticks, go ahead and bury them back, and just get them covered back up. Keep it composted. That's where I get a lot of my nutrients from, is those sticks and stuff that get composted. Yeah. Look at ours. We probably have more wind today than we've had throughout. Well, no, not the last hurricane, but what? You fussing at the wind? But you can see how taking this stuff. And what I liked about this was, if you remember when we did these beds, I put in horse manure, leaves, so that's kind of like an animal product. One of the reasons why I got the mushroom compost was I'm thinking it'd probably be cool to put in some like more of a plant-based compost, as kind of like what we do when we're composting. We're doing all like plants and scraps that we have. So to not use the cow manure, but to use a little more of the plant-based products that's on the market, I thought that would be something nice to give it a try. And I still use animal-based products as far as the manure, but I've never used the mushroom compost at all before. So this is my first year going with this mushroom compost. So you can see how that looks, how rich it looks, mixing that into your soil, mixing that in with your perlite. Looks just like you're coming out of the nursery, huh? I think it's all about that little white perlite look. And people think when they see you like that, they're like, They think you spent a lot of money to have all your beds looking like that, when really it's just a $25 bag of perlite or $30. But I like that the mushroom compost and the black cow manure is really dark. So kind of let you know that there may be some good nutrients up in there. Got one more plant left to take out. And I might put one more bag over here. Let's try that. More so I was thinking of what I would do. What I would do is I'll go buy, if I can't get the bulk, like if I can't get a trailer to get the bulk soil, I would go and buy some of those dollar bags. It's like $1.80, $1.70 a bag of the regular like topsoil or manure or compost, and put that on. And then I would put this kind of like on the top of it. Throwing perlite in the bed. I think that's all I could afford today for this bed. I'm probably gonna, like I said, we're probably gonna go to about, I'm thinking, because I can put that in the minivan, probably about 1,000 pounds of this stuff just scattered out, probably each season. So that would cost me, that's about 20 or 25 bags at $5 a bag. So
Like 125.
$125. That's not a lot of money at all. That's not a lot of money at all. When I just went to Walmart this morning and I bought some stuff to make gumbo, I bought some snacks for the kids, little fruit things you just saw her eating, and I bought my son some uniform pants, and that was like $111. So as opposed to this cost me this morning $54 with tax, these 10 bags of mushroom compost. So you kind of choose where you want to put your money at. In the garden, I saw a thing on Facebook and it says you can pay the farmer today or you can pay the pharmacy tomorrow. So that's one of the deals where if you want to put some money into the ground or throwing money away onto the ground, this is probably one of the best ways to throw your money on the ground, because it's investing in what you're doing and you're going to get it back. You can see all the plants that we took out of here yesterday when we walked to the back, and I still have, probably can separate some of these or I can leave it in a bunch, but this just came up volunteer. And that's the abundance of when you invest into your garden, you generally going to get back more than 2-3 times what you put in it. So this little $50 investment is for sure, over the course of my life, is going to pay me back big time. So thank y'all for watching the Grow Family Network. Go get you some compost. Go spend a little money. We can't save all the time. Sometimes you got to get out there and not buy that pack of cold drinks and buy one of these bags of soil. So that's just the way life is. You gotta learn how to kind of balance everything. Thank y'all for watching the Grow Family Network. And as always,
grow, peace.
why they always say grow 2 times? I say it 3 times. Grow, grow, grow. Peace. Be good. Thank y'all.